Hi everyone. Okay, let's get started. Tonight, guys, more of an open session, more of a general discussion, looking at psychology. Okay, this to me is the make or break of a trader, and we'll break some things down and maybe see why, and we'll go into a few little areas. I could give webinars on psychology every week. In fact, it wouldn't be that bad an idea because most people sort of neglect it, and it would be a good opportunity, I guess, for people to come to like a psychologist every week, wouldn't it? To have a chat about trading and stuff. But I think it's that important. Okay, so we're just going to have a sort of a general chat. I've got a few slides just asking some basic questions and that, and we're just going to have a sort of open forum to discuss a lot of these points. Okay, so question, guys, why do you think, as the statistics say, only 5% of traders succeed? I asked my bootcamp class today, and I got a lot of answers like, oh, they don't stick to their plan, and they haven't not well educated enough, and those sorts of things. But at the end of the day, as I've been studying lately and reading up on the trader psychology side of things, traders are compared to succeed as a trader. You've been compared to other professionals. Like there's I've read a lot of books and a lot of stuff on people comparing traders with sports stars, with scientists, with doctors, those sorts of things. But when you think about it, any sport you might follow, there's a reason why they, let's say it's tennis, something I don't really follow, but there's a reason why a top tennis player is who he is. David L., how you doing? Yes, you're one of the best brain surgeons. And so we've been compared to these, traders are in that sort of field. And one of the reasons why other people in their field, such as sports stars, succeed is they're very psychologically strong. It's the difference between it can be the difference between a world number one tennis player and someone who can make the top 100 or 200 players. Okay. And if you're serious about trading and you wanna be in this, well, let's not put it that way. You have to be in that, don't you? Everyone in the room who wants to be a trader. Now, I believe some people in this room might not. Some people might be just testing the waters. They might have heard that this trading deal can make you money. And that's fair enough. They're sort of going through a little phase right now of enjoyment and just trying to work out about how currency markets work and flow and a bit of technical analysis and fundamentals, which is all good. But once you decide that you're going down that I am going to be a trader road, like a full-time trader, you're basically telling yourself that you're going to be one of these. Okay? 5%. There's probably better numbers than people joining the Navy to fly airplanes, isn't it? I would have no idea, but the percentage of people that become naval aviators, pretty low. Okay, so we've been compared to a lot of these things. So if you think about it like that, how many of the professionals out there in the world that have succeeded that you've heard of, whether it be traders or sports stars or whatever, I don't know, musicians even, how many of them have actually taught themselves? I would say It's a lot fewer. Who in this room, now by the way, I'm not here to push any boot camp or anything. I'm just being open, honest. It's like one trader to another here. Who here is making an attempt to become one of the 5% of traders? Who's trying to do that? Who's going to try and do it teaching themselves? So, i.e., who's like on the professional tennis circuit as the player coach? Anyone? Yeah, you'll find Wayne, even though Boyke, he had some sort of mentoring in that along the way. Whether it doesn't have to be a trader, but just someone from like knowledge sense that could, like he's had someone who's through the mentoring side that's helped him a lot with focusing and setting himself up as a trader. Believe me. There's a lot of people here who will be teaching themselves, which is cool. If that's what you're going to go down, fine. Okay. But I would recommend, if you're serious about trading, okay? Now, when I say serious, to go back to that 5%, if you're going to make it, if you're going to make it as a trader, as I was telling my class today, competent trader is not going to be good enough. Just being a competent, good trader is probably not going to be good enough because, think of it, competent trader just does not fit in the 5% winning of anything. You have to strive to be the best, right? Like infatuated, fascinated, cannot get away from it. Okay, and if that's what you need to be, you're gonna want to consider at some stage some sort of coaching or mentoring or even a trading buddy that's going to be there sort of with you along the way. I myself, I've had coaching, right? Obviously, I was a member of boot camp before becoming a coach. And I mentor people, but I've decided in 2012 that I need a mentor. Even if things are good, I just want once a month, once every few weeks, or someone I can maybe call on if I'm going through a rough patch. I wouldn't mind. It could be just a general psychologist, a sports psychologist, anyone, but someone could be a successful professional trader. Yes, Jez, a mentor for trading. So you can just go along and, let's say times are tough. You can go along and pick up the pieces, okay, when you feel like you're a little bit of a failure. And believe me, we always go down that road. We always feel like that at some stage, and you'll always continue as a trader. Remember, probably no trading system's perfect, and nothing's going to work 100% of the time. And that's when you've got to be psychologically strong. When it's not working, you need to be able to keep your head up, right? Maybe for some of you, you're going to be fine. Maybe some people would need extra coaching. If I got myself in a real bad patch, I'd probably want to go speak to a mentor. Someone who's been there and done it. Someone who can maybe take the positive points from what I've done and failed on, and then, help me see the light or something. Okay, so just something to think about. If you're I think Gary just mentioned that he's trying to do it by going to these webinars like these, which is cool. Another thing to think about then is maybe on the psychology side is get yourself a couple of good psychology books. Okay? There's a lot of good trading psychology books out there. Okay? So you could go and get yourself some books and call on those if you're going to do it yourself, which is totally cool. Okay. Just a quick story, guys. When I decided to be a trader, and I'd gone down the road of, well, what's this, I was sort of interested in I had money to invest, but I wanted to do it myself. And then I got, stocks and options and all that sort of stuff. Okay. Kiwi Kid, that's where Wayne's had a lot of meditation. Like he spent time with how to meditate for trading. Like he meditates every day. That's what Boyke was asking. Wayne's never been coached. He is. So I wanted to learn it myself. So I found someone at my job at the time introduced me to Forex. I started playing with it. I got to like it, and I went down the road for probably 2 years trying to teach myself it before I decided that I needed some coaching. I wasn't taking my game any further if I thought I was going to make it anywhere, right? So, I myself have been down that trying to self-teach myself road. And maybe I could have made it in the end, but I would definitely recommend, if you have the opportunity, to take some time to go out there in the market and find any form of mentoring or education. I mean, there's a lot of places out there that you can get some help with. Okay. So why do you guys think it's important that you need to be psychologically strong? Any ideas? Right. So you can take losing, get through the rough patches, survive the losing streaks. It might be accept some losses. It's a hard deal, isn't it? Taking a number of losses in a row. Now, I've been doing this a little bit now, and I've definitely gone through some patches where you get a little bit like down and out with, man, why is every trade I'm taking a loser today or this week? Why that you take exactly the same sort of trade you took the week before, because you're exactly the same sort of entry, and ouch. Lance says trading can be demoralizing. You can take it personally, which is very easy to do, and that's a very good point. Who here can who here feels sometimes after a day of trading that they're just like an absolute failure because of the results they've had throughout the day or the week? It's so bad that they can't even, the last thing they want to think about is actually looking at themselves in the mirror and believing the trades they took. Like, review the trades I just lost on all day and week? You got to be joking. Who gets like that? There's an absolute. I've been down that road where it's like not necessarily a good approach, is it? Bad week, got to the end of the week, switching them damn charts off. Switching those damn charts off, and I'll just, for some reason, something will all be good on Monday. Smart or not smart with that sort of approach? Are you better off turning your charts off and moving on, or are you better off saying, you know what, get your head in the books, look at those trades you took, and work out what you could have done differently? Because of course, what happens naturally when you're a trader is you get a couple of losses, and then you can start revenge trading, and then you get a little bit desperate with your entries, and once you're in your entries, you're micromanaging. And a trade that you should normally getting in a nice confirmation area, and letting run and then moving the stop to break even when it's all good never happens. And it's almost a daze around your mind, right? You're like, you've ended the week probably with a few break evens that could have been multi-hundred pip trades, and that makes things even worse because you've taken some losses, little micromanaging creeps in, knocks you out break even, and then just goes away and goes in the direction exactly what you wanted, right? So psychologically strong traders will be able to get around that. Psychologically strong traders, guys, they understand that there's going to be periods where their strategy will not work all the time. They have a strategy that's proven. And you'll get this if you read a book like Market Wizards. A lot of you would have read those books. They're very good books to read. You'll read about a trader who's made $800 million. And in part of the interviews, it'll be, what's the worst period of trading you've ever had? And they'll give some year, and they'll say, it's the 1 year where I finished 15% down for the year. And you think to yourself, no way in the world I can finish down for the year as a forex trader. I'll be out of business, right? But the way that person trades, they psychologically know that what might not be happening now will kick in again. Maybe they're a long-term based trader or something. But even a short-term based trader, a good forex spot trader now, professional forex spot trader, knows that what might have worked last week will not work this week. But they'll still take their same systematic approach to what they're doing. They'll look at the markets in the same way. They'll identify areas of support and resistance to buy and sell from, and then they'll set up their trade plans and execute them. And that's one of the key things about being psychologically strong, is they will just, it's almost robotic. They'll just take the same approach day in, day out, and they know there's good days and bad days. And they know in the long run, they'll be fine. What's one of the most common mistakes that a novice trader makes when it comes to their trading system? And how they never even get to this point? Does anyone know? Right. They will come up with a strategy and they will start it. After a while, it will not work, and so they'll just go to something else. And then after a while, that doesn't work, and they go to something else, and then that doesn't work. And so they've basically never given a trading system or strategy. They've never given it a go. And it's one of the differences between a strong psychological trader. They've got something that they enjoy. If you were in my webinars last year when I did the fast track to becoming a full-time trader, I said you needed a toolbox. I think someone was asking me about what they should be using, the tools they should be using. I said the biggest things you should be focusing on are the things you enjoy. You feel good with. If you feel good with a Stokes cross and a MACD, cool. If you like pivots and Fibonacci and visual support and resistance, all cool. Like it and try and make it work. Okay? Unfortunately, too many novice traders are just going from one failure to another and not giving it time. Okay? So it's very, very important that you guys, and this is probably a good, kicking off 2012 pretty much here. If you're teaching yourself to trade or you're going somewhere for education or whatever, one thing you can work on personally on the psychology side is focusing on trying to make a system work. Don't worry about topping and changing. So, most of you are in the educational phase. Most of you, if you're in this room, should not be trading live money. Okay. And so, on demo accounts, and maybe even using backtesting tools such as Forex Tester, you should be simulating your trading strategy. Like, as many hours a day as humanly possible. And you should be trying to get that thing to work. Thing like Forex Tester, absolutely invaluable for the novice trader. I'm so upset I got my hands on that way too late. If I'd got my hands on Forex Tester when I was starting out in Forex, that would have been incredibly valuable. Unfortunately, I was already a full-time trader when that came along, but it's already been invaluable in helping with my trading development. But if you're not going to use something like Forex Tester and you're just going to use maybe a demo account on live market data, you at least need to give something like 4 to 6 months to see if it's going to work. Okay? It can seem like a long time, but it's really it's the minimal only way to see whether you're actually something is going to work. Questions on that? So, what should you guys be working on? To improve to improve your psychology as a trader, to improve so that you get through the bad times. What could you work on individually by yourself? There you go, Kurt. Some people it takes way longer. Some people pick it up fairly quickly. Psychology will always be there, though. Trader psychology, guys, it's one of those things where you can pick up in a fairly short time a good understanding of technicals and fundamentals. And of course you refine them and get better and better, and it's a bit like, I don't know how long I've had a driver's license for, but even, I continually find I'm probably, without really thinking about it, becoming a better and better driver all the time. Because the more you drive, naturally, the better you become. It's the same in trading. You can be very, very good at technicals, but you'll always improve. But psychology will always be the thing that needs work on as a trader. So, exactly. So, Trader Kurt comes up with a very important point that I wanted to raise. And this is one thing you need to be, think of, if you're able to take 2012 and start a clean sheet. He mentions the word stubbornness and the willingness to change. I was just mentioning, stick to a system, make it work, which is important to get established, right? But one of the other things you need to work on, or one of the things you need to be open to, is at some stage with your trading career, what you do does not work anymore. And you need to be open as a trader to be willing to change. And it's one of the big differences between, say, a confident trader and one who's infatuated with trading. An infatuated trader, think of him as the quarterback and the professional quarterback. Think of him as the professional tennis player. Okay, the professional footballer that you always wanted to be. They're infatuated with it, and they just are willing to make changes and to do what it takes to make it work. Okay, so what do you think How many hours a day do you think Kobe Bryant from the LA Lakers trains before a game? Before a game. Any idea? He'll train like a few hours every morning at his house, but 3 hours, approximately about 3 hours before a game, any game, he is already there training, like practicing, warming up, shooting free throws, getting himself psychologically ready to play. And quite often, because I hear this on the Sports Talkback radio, you'll hear the guys who are broadcasting the game that night, and you'll hear them like, can you hear that basketball getting bounced around in the background? Yeah, Kobe Bryant's here. It's us two broadcasters talking to the radio station, and he is here. He's the only one. He's like the only one. He's infatuated with it. Okay? It's what sets him apart as being one of the best basketballers of all time versus the guy sitting on the bench. The bench warmer. And what happens if he has a bad game? Stay behind afterwards, doesn't he? Stays behind afterwards, and he'll put a couple of hours in after the game because it's unacceptable what's happened. He will stay there and work out what went wrong. And it's a lot of what I've read about with professional traders as well, how case studying a couple of traders, say in Chicago, both doing the same thing, both have a bad morning. One of them goes, oh, I'll just go out for some lunch and, she'll be right, mate. No worries. Things will pick up in the afternoon. One of them says, I'll be skipping lunch today because I need to work out what went wrong, and so I need to be looking at my trading journal. I need to go back and see what went wrong at this time. Things haven't gone right, and they stay there and nut it out. One of those guys failed as a trader, and the other one became a very, very successful one. See, Mike, I don't know how many hours a day you spend looking at charts or how long you can, but you gotta, honestly, there's an infatuation thing with it. Like, I eat and breathe Forex 24/7. I'm just constantly thinking about it and trying to improve and just work on anything and everything. 14 years. 14 hours a day, sorry. Which part of the planet do you live in? So you're in America, and not far, you're sort of central west, aren't you? You're not too dissimilar from me. You're like an hour ahead of me. I'm in the West Coast. We haven't got the best trading hours. You ever thought about the psychology side of things, Mike? Who in the room is willing to have a bad day and look at how many bad trades they've taken and review what they've done? Because I know there'll be some people here who cannot handle failure, and so they'll tend to not want to look at the problems they've made or caused. Like, if you're going to be a success, guys, you need to get your trade journal out, okay? And if you haven't got one of them, get on it, alright? Even if it's just an Excel spreadsheet. But you need to be able to look, you need to be able to have a critical look at yourself, okay? You need to be accountable with yourself. And if you can't be, you're not going to make it. And if you can't be critical or accountable with yourself, find someone like a mentor or a trading buddy who can be. Screen print it, Mike, and write on it. And then write down your analysis and write down why you're going to get in there and what's going to get you in there. Okay? And if you're... Okay, so that's an important thing. Okay? And then when you get to trade journal and you're being critical on yourself because of the bad trade you took, okay. By the way, I mentored someone once who finished the week break even, which was a break even trader. But when I went through their trade journal and took out all the garbage trades that we agreed on, they were actually nailing like 300 pips a week. Seriously, good money. But they had to learn to get rid of the garbage trades. Psychologically, they just got themselves to a point where they couldn't stop themselves. What I do, Mike, and this might help you, is I can show you on the screen quickly maybe. I write trade plans down, okay, and screen print them. This is my class. We're actually doing it we do the trade planning and everything as a group right now. And so we're writing down, we've got one going right now. 15-minute change of trend in this 127, 30-ish area wherever we are now. And if we change trend on the 15-minute chart here, we're getting short. But we review and we analyze. But this is done while I'm analyzing. Okay, if you cannot come up with a trade plan, you mean in general, Mike? Or today? Just in general? Right. And you've been trading all these years? Okay. Right. You need to, and all these hours a day? Right. I mean, you need to go and get some coaching somewhere. You need someone, really? Well, you need to go and review that. Okay. No, I don't, JP. So, okay, so I've got a very, on a scale of 1 to 10, Mike, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being I'm totally demoralized and just absolutely could not be more down and out about my trading. On a scale of 1 to 10, what are you right now? A 9. So pretty bad, right? So anyone who's in Mike's position or even remotely close, if you are in the position where you've got taking trades with Microlots, which, okay, it's not much money, but it's still money, right? And you are just getting negative after negative after negative out of it, and you're having trouble with trade planning and all the rest of it, you need to stop what you're doing. Okay, Mike, this is going to help you a lot. This is going to sound like, don't get even more down and out with what I'm about to tell you. But you need to stop what you're doing because something major component before you've got to taking trades, like analysis, planning, something is not right there. And you need to stop and go back to the education front a little bit and find out what it is and fix it. Right? So what you need to do, Mike, is, you've been doing it for a while, so you've obviously got a lot of you do have a lot of knowledge. Whether you're applying it well, I'm not sure. But if someone can plug the gap you've got or fix your issue. You never know. You could actually quickly. But I don't know who you've paid or what you've done, but that's what you'd have. Yeah, a good trading buddy would be good. Now, going back to being accountable, guys, if you cannot be accountable to yourself, you've got to be accountable to someone. Remember with trading, you can be your own boss. It's not like you work at the hedge fund where the big boss man will be storming around the office saying, what do you mean you're taking those sorts of trades? We don't take those trades in this office. You can go and take a counter trend trade. No big deal. Anytime you like. You're not accountable, right? So, become accountable. You could be accountable with a trading buddy. I do, my trading buddy, David Pagler, we talk probably nearly every day about just in between talks about baseball and stuff. It'll be 20 minutes baseball, 5 minutes charts, but it is what it is. But we'll talk, if that euro gets back to 127, she is short for the next month. And we're like, yeah. And so we're just like talking, high level like that. Or he'll call me and say, I got pipped by half a pip and then it fell 150. Or I'll call him about the same thing. And so, I have a trading buddy like that and it helps a lot. And occasionally if I've had a bad day or week, I'll call him up and he'll be like, it is what it is. Don't worry about it. It's thin market conditions. It's a holiday period. Money will be back in the market in the next week. Okay. No, you shouldn't, Mike. Mike, get confident on a demo account. Seriously, any form of real money is just, you're hemorrhaging blood, essentially. You've got to stop the bleeding. Okay. A couple of other things before we wrap things up here, guys, is I added to last year, and I'm using it quite often, I added a psych journal. So I write in it psychologically when I'm a little bit down and out or need a bit of a pep talk. Had a bad day where I might have taken one or two trades where I shouldn't have. And I continuously write down in that psych journal certain things. Basically what I do is I go through my journal, the trades that I took and where I made mistakes, and I actually try to take the positives out of it and write it in my trade journal, my psych journal. And then I use the positive points out of the psych journal, read them quite often, especially before trading, just to remind myself of what I'm capable of. And most people in this room will be capable of making some very, very good trades. There's probably some people in this room that can make way better trades than I can. But do they know that? Yes, David L. You could probably make way better trades than me if you knew it. So just a couple of things to wrap up here quickly. If you're working by yourself, okay, try and become infatuated as possible. Okay. Yeah, do the positive points like last highlight. You've got to take the positives from the negatives. Okay. Do not decide on a strategy, a way of trading, guys, and try and stick with it for the first 6 months of this year. You might surprise yourself. Okay. I really think that if you're a person that's gone from failing trading system to failure, I don't know whether this is you, Mike. Stick with something and become good at it. And I think, you know, I could maybe highlight that in next week's webinar. I could go high level, what someone novice trader trading system might want to use. Okay. Be crazy about trading. You know, I was joking around with my class today. My drug is trading. That's my problem. Yeah, obsessed. Like the wife saying, do you have to be in the charts again? Do you have to be in the off? Do you have to be checking your charts in the middle of the night? Do you have to be back testing robots on a Saturday morning when I'm awake? Wake up. Yes, I do. Do we have to keep Forex magazines in the bathroom? Yes, we do. Okay. And finally, guys, if you feel like a complete failure, step back and go and work on your areas where you know you're failing. Okay, you're gonna find, Mike, that it's your analysis, your trade planning, something. And go and if you're getting too many negatives from it, you need to get some positives. Go back and get a positive and fix something that's causing these negatives to happen. Yes, it'll be very key and very simple. Anyway, guys, let's wrap it up there. Next week, I'll do a webinar on a high-level, very simple trading system for a novice trader, like I was highlighting. It'll be something along the lines of follow daily trade, daily direction, look for these sorts of entries, that sort of thing. Okay? And we'll do some pretty pictures and charts. Have a good one, guys, and we'll catch you next week. Cheers.